jeunesse, c'est l'époque où on n'a pas assez de temps. Nous devons profiter du temps qui nous est donné, utiliser l'énergie nécessaire pour atteindre nos objectifs, pour changer le monde, changer notre monde, changer le monde des autres, positivement.
Welcome to One Africa News, your premier source for news and current affairs from across the continent. We're glad you're here. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, like, and turn on notification to stay up to date with the latest news and analysis. Your support helps us reach more people. Tonight on One Africa News, in a bold and unprecedented move, Burkina Faso's young revolutionary leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has turned down what many are calling China's most ambitious investment offer in Africa. Why did he say no, and what does this mean for the continent's future? We take a deep dive into a decision that has shocked both Beijing and economic observers worldwide. Burkina Faso, one of the world's poorest yet most defiant countries, has just rejected a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure and mining investment proposal from China. The man behind that decision? 36-year-old President Captain Ibrahim Traoré.
There is one thing that comes up constantly, particularly when talking about the issue of infrastructure, transport infrastructure. And I said this to certain authorities straight away. It is a crucial problem for the whole of Burkina. We don't have enough roads. We have very few roads. And the few roads that we have are falling apart. So this is an observation that we made. The road networks are suffering greatly. This is why we decided to launch the FACE-OMIBO initiative, which is only just beginning. But the goal is to provide each region with a road construction brigade. And the first brigades arrived. You followed them. God willing, in a few days, other brigades will be there. And we want each region to have its own brigade before the end of the year. Once each region has its brigade, generally recruitment therefore, the majority of the workforce will be recruited in the region to build the roads in the region. So I invite you to take this initiative head on, to take your initiative. When your brigade arrives, do everything possible to ensure that it can quickly build as many roads as you want. And we will continue in this direction so that even the rural roads you are talking about, everything will be built. So regarding the health aspect, I think that the Manga CHR is practically finished. And I think there are many things that may be missing, but the ministry is working hard to equip all the CHRs. And we found situations where minimal imagery did not exist. I remember that last year or so, I went to PAO when the officer cadets were leaving. And I heard that in this big city there weren't even any ultrasound machines. Nothing. No machine to do an ultrasound when there's a woman who needs one. We temporarily solved the problem. This is to tell you how poorly equipped our hospitals were. But the ministry is working hard, and I think a lot of equipment is being installed. Whether it's imaging equipment, dialysis equipment, and many other things. It's in progress. So for all those who have not yet been served, I can assure you that you will be served, and that you will no longer need to travel to the Grand Center to have certain tests done.
You see, once again, the indomitable Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the revolutionary leader of Burkina Faso, has thrown corrupt African leaders into a state of panic with his unyielding commitment to transformative governance. In a fiery address during his recent visit to the vibrant town of Manga in Burkina Faso's Centre-Sud region, Traoré delivered a message that reverberated across the continent. The construction of roads in Burkina Faso will reach every region. This bold declaration, spoken with the conviction of a leader who embodies the spirit of Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's legendary revolutionary icon, is not mere rhetoric, but a clarion call for action that has already begun to reshape the nation's landscape, literally and figuratively. In Manga, a town that has long been neglected by previous regimes, Traoré stood before a sea of cheering citizens, his voice resolute and his vision clear. "Roads are the veins of our nation," he proclaimed. They carry the lifeblood of our people. Trade, opportunity, and unity. No village, no matter how remote, will be left behind. We will build roads to every corner of Burkina Faso, and we will do it with our own hands. The crowd erupted in thunderous applause, their faith in their young leader unshakable. For too long, Burkina Faso's rural communities have been isolated, cut off from markets, schools, and hospitals by impassable dirt tracks. Traoré's promise is not just a policy. It is a revolution, a defiance of the status quo that has kept Africa's potential shackled for generations. To understand the magnitude of Traoré's vision, one must first confront the grim reality of Burkina Faso's past. Before Traoré's ascent to power in September 2022, the nation's road network was a shameful relic of neglect and corruption. Pothole-riddled highways, if they could even be called that, snaked through urban centres like Ouagadougou and Bobo Dioulasso, while rural areas were often entirely disconnected. In the rainy season, entire communities were marooned, their muddy paths. Farmers watched their harvests rot, unable to reach markets. Mothers in labour faced life-threatening delays, unable to access hospitals. School children trudged miles through treacherous terrain to reach crumbling classrooms. If they could attend at all, the suffering was palpable. In the village of Koudougou, a farmer named Issouf Sawadogo.
China's proposed offer to Burkina Faso was staggering. A $7 billion infrastructure deal, access to modern rail and road systems, investment in gold and lithium mining, the promise of thousands of jobs. But there was a catch. Critics, and now Captain Traoré himself, claim the offer came with heavy conditions. Chinese ownership of key mineral operations, 30-year extraction rights, a requirement for Chinese contractors and laborers, little guarantee for local beneficiation. We are not for sale. Burkina Faso's wealth belongs to its people, not to foreign companies.
Jeunesse, c'est l'époque où on n'a pas assez de temps. Nous devons profiter du temps qui nous est donné, utiliser l'énergie nécessaire pour atteindre nos objectifs, pour changer le monde, changer notre monde, changer le monde des autres, positivement.
In a press conference that has since gone viral across Francophone Africa, Traoré accused China of repeating the same colonial patterns under the disguise of development. Since taking power in 2022, Captain Traoré has pushed a radical nationalist agenda. Burkina Faso, under his leadership, has expelled French troops, suspended foreign mining licenses, called for a pan-African military alliance, banned the export of unrefined gold and lithium. This recent rejection of China's offer is part of what his aides now call the Traoré Doctrine, a commitment to sovereignty, self-reliance, and African industrialization. Captain Traoré's stance has reignited debate across Africa. Is the continent ready to say no to China's deep pockets? In recent months, Zambia renegotiated a major Chinese loan. Zimbabwe paused Chinese lithium operations. DRC is reviewing Chinese copper mining licenses. Experts say Traoré's boldness could mark a turning point, but it comes with risk. Of course, rejecting such a major economic deal comes at a price. Burkina Faso still faces widespread poverty, terrorism, and youth unemployment. Without foreign capital, how will Traoré fund the ambitious infrastructure and defense plans? Meanwhile, China has responded cautiously, stating it remains committed to respectful cooperation. But insiders reveal Beijing is rethinking its West Africa strategy. As the sun sets over Ouagadougou, one thing is clear. Ibrahim Traoré is not just reshaping Burkina Faso, he's challenging an entire global order. Will other African leaders follow suit? Will the continent finally control its own narrative and its own natural wealth? We'll be watching. Stay with One Africa News as we continue to follow this developing story. Disclaimer: the content of this video is based on credible publicly available information and is intended for educational, analytical, and informational purposes only. One Africa News does not promote hate, violence, misinformation, or political unrest. Our goal is to deliver thoughtful insights, highlight local voices, and encourage informed conversations throughout Africa. Thank you for watching One Africa News. Kindly subscribe and stay up to date with our latest news updates. Like, comment, and share our videos with your friends and family.